He died, found information in his belongings and researched stuff. And if you want to get a good reading on Iwo Jima, you'll read a book called Flag of Our Fathers, written by his son, researched.
Why were people so reluctant to talk about some of what they experienced? I mean, I never met my uncle, but I think even my father didn't
I got a friend of ours laying over here in the Grove up north. He was a seaman. What's ours?
Bethlehem?
He was what was the guys that did all the work for the Navy, and well, nevertheless.
CBs?
CB. Our crowd will never forget me. But
It goes with the age.
he came back, and he was in the Philippines, and he saw a lot of death. And he came back, and he just had to go to Heinz on a regular basis and talk to fellows that were in the same category as him to talk about it, because he didn't want to talk about it. He had pictures of it. That's how it affected him.
Well, experiences I haven't even told my wife family about until recently. That I had down when I was at Smyrna Air Base where these bombers were going up and down. 2 of them crashed. While I was involved in the people who had to go out with the stretchers and bring the bodies back into the camp, they thought it might have been sabotage. They weren't sure of that. Other sort of humorous thing that we were doing there was, as being in medics, they lined all the soldiers up to get their shots. They always had to have one of us standing by the doctor who was injecting the needles, because some of them would get up there and they'd faint just before they were ready to get the shot. But that's a couple of experiences I had, even though I never got into the real action of the war.
Yeah. Did it change you, do you think, the experience?
Yeah, in a way it did. The thing I think about now as I go back is, when you're in civilian life, you have control of your life. But once you're in the service, then you're not controlling your life. They're telling you where you go and what you're going to do and so forth and so on. But the responsibility we had, and I remember, I think Churchill was a great inspiration to all of us with his V sign that he put up for what was going on in England. And I just feel that I did what I should do, and we did the right thing, and we're darn glad that it is over, and there hasn't been a World War III.
Yo, go ahead.
When I hear the country Afghanistan, two things come to mind. Several years ago, we had a lad from LaGrange going to the Marines. Good hockey player, young man.
Josh.
Had both legs taken off by a roadside bomb. Recently, I read a book put out by a Navy SEAL who was on the group that got bin Laden. Very interesting. They're here in Afghanistan training. The terrorists are in Afghanistan too. They got to be careful of what they do. Why? I mean, what are we doing? We got people over there. I just can't get it. It's tough for me to apprehend. We can't be policemen of the world.
So from your experience, when is it right to commit U.S. troops and when isn't it?
Do we have, if they have a Pearl Harbor or something like that?
When is it right, do you think, to commit U.S. troops, and when is it not?
I know a little bit about the history of that Syria, Afghanistan, not Afghanistan. They've been at odds between each other, the different tribes, for 3,000 years. This is nothing new. What the fighting that they're doing, this has been going on for a long time. every once in a while they have a peaceful period. But if you stop and think of, take Israel, when they gave Israel that section along the Mediterranean that was Palestine, they gave it back to the Israelis. It was British controlled, and but if you look at it today, that these different groups just can't get along with each other, and I don't see why we should send our men to try to calm them down because they don't know anything about it. I don't think their educational system is enough to. They don't train their children like we school our children. I'm a pacifist now. I'll tell you that. Somebody else wants to talk about it.
You all came back as heroes, the greatest generation. The soldiers that came back from Vietnam and from Iraq, Afghanistan, a lot of them had a different experience. When you saw Vietnam, when you saw people who go serve, some were injured, many died, and how the country reacted, well, why was there such a different reaction to people who had served compared to when World War II?
I just can't figure that out either, but it's, we all